good morning to all of our guests, also known as our taste testers. Welcome to the Taste of Transportation, also known as TOT. Thank you for joining us this morning. I am Paul Chance, your Public Involvement Officer for the Miami-Dade Transportation Planning Organization, also known as the TPO. I am your host, so call me Host Chance. Are you excited? I'm excited. The TPO Master Chef is excited. The TPO team is excited. We're all excited. We have a great takeout special edition for you today, focusing on the TPO's SMART M.A.P 2050 Long Range Transportation Plan, also known as the LRTP. Come a little closer. I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. M.A.P stands for Mobility, Accessibility, and Prosperity. So I hope your belly is ready, because this will be a taste of transportation like no other. You might be asking, what is the LRTP? Or what is the SMART M.A.P 2050 LRTP? We are going to answer those questions and more. Host Chance, what is all the excitement about? Well, for the first time, we are going to have the TPO Chef takeover. And you don't want to miss any of these dishes that they have served up today. So get ready, get ready, get ready. As you know, the Taste of Transportation is designed to keep you involved with all aspects of transportation while you enjoy your lunch. Listen, there's nothing like learning, thinking, and eating all at the same time. But no meal can be complete without Master Chef assistance. TPO Master Chef, are you there?
Hey, hello, Host Chance. Yes, I am here. And listen, I am excited about today's TOT edition. Not only are taste testers going to learn about what an LRTP is and why it's necessary, but also about our own local SMART M.A.P 2050 LRTP's socioeconomic data, the freight and bike ped planning components, and the cost feasible plan. And that's a lot. That's amazing. And to top it off, I'm going to take everyone on a tour of the website and virtual room. And listen, Host Chance, it doesn't stop there. Taste testers will participate in various polling questions throughout this event that will feed into the LRTP development process.
TPO Master Chef, that sounds so exciting. I cannot wait to get started.
But wait, Host Chance. Listen, what if they have questions or comments after the Taste of Transportation has concluded?
Good question, TPO Master Chef. Anyone can email us at information@mdtpo.org, or you can call us at 305-375-1888. Let me repeat that number one more time. The number is 305-375-1888 to ask any questions or provide your comments. Well, taste testers, you are in for a fantastic lunch. We have various delicious items on this menu today. Each TPO chef will provide us with a small taste of their selected item for about 5 minutes. And as we go through the menu, the TPO Master Chef will have polling questions for you to participate in.
That's right. And hey, Host Chance, can you tell the taste testers how to get ready for those polling questions?
Great idea, TPO Master Chef. See, that's why you are the Master Chef. You can join from the internet browser on either your computer, your laptop, or your phone at pollev.com/KHA1. TPO Master Chef, are you ready?
Yes, Host Chance. I have my apron and my chef hat on, and I am ready.
And now, without further ado, on with the menu. The menu starts off with a scrumptious overview of what is an LRTP. Let's welcome our first TPO chef making his virtual Taste of Transportation debut, Chef Wilson, who will tell us more about his selected item this morning. Good morning, Chef Wilson.
Good morning, Host Chance, and thank you for the opportunity. And I'm excited myself to present what is the Long Range Transportation Plan. So next slide. We're talking about the menu, and this is our list of entrees for today, but we only get to select one. So we are selecting, as you know, the Long Range Transportation Plan. These are our 4 core documents. So the long range plan really is the long range vision and the umbrella document in which all the other documents that the TPO produces needs to be consistent with its policies. So it's going to be a delectable entree. Let's move to the next slide, please. So a little bit about the key ingredients or elements as part of the long range transportation plan. First, it needs to be updated every 5 years. This is for air quality attainment areas, and it needs to have a minimum of a 20-year horizon. What's important about the 20-year, our last update was the year 2045. So at any point in time, we have a 20-year minimum horizon in the plan that is set to be updated in 2024. It is a multimodal plan. What does that really mean? That it is comprehensive vision encompassing all different modes as you see here. But since we're looking at the future in 20 plus years, we're also looking at emerging technologies that are things that are the cusp of being implemented, and the future is always exciting. And last but not least is the cost feasible. I know we're going to handle this a little bit more in depth, but essentially the federal government requires that whatever we put on our plate, that the expected revenues are there to cover these during the 20-year time frame. Next slide, please. So let's go through the process of making this great entree or meal for us. So this process begins with the goals and objectives. So what really is the goals and objectives? Well, it's determining how you like your meal. Do you like it medium well? Do you like it rare? That sets the bar and the objective for how we're going to cook this meal. Then we get on to looking at all our plan development, which essentially is looking at our project. So let's look at all of our ingredients. Let's select the best vegetables, the best cuts of meat, and see what's available to us for the entree. Then we get into the evaluation process to see how good this meal as we prepare it, always keeping in mind the cost of each of these ingredients as we get into the development of the cost feasible plan. And finally, we have our ultimate taste testers, which are our governing board, the TPO governing board, which adopts this plan at the end and shares that vision. And all throughout, there's always a little sprinkle of salt in every step of the way, and that is the public participation and public input process that is all encompassing. Next slide, please. So at the end, we serve this sort of in a 4-course meal. Typically, we put these in 5-year increments, except for the last course or dessert, in which it's a double portion, if you will, and we have it as a 10-year banned and during this 20+ year period. And I want you to know that under this slide, you'll see unfunded projects. So even though we do have the cost feasible plan is the revenues match up with the costs, we do identify needs that were beyond our budget. So as our budget grows, we can entertain eating other food products that we just can't afford right now. And with that, the next slide is our LRTP steering committee. So we mentioned about how comprehensive we were in terms of the various modes that we encompass. Well, we also have a comprehensive coordination effort which we engage all of our partners, transportation partners within Miami-Dade County and in the state and the federal government, and they participate through the LRTP steering committee. So we make sure that our 4-course meal has all the influences of the different culinary styles, if you will, that are out there. So with that, thank you for the opportunity to present, and I'll kick it back to Host Chance.
Thank you, Chef Wilson. That was an amazing explanation of the LRTP. Talk about one of those appetizers that will just keep you coming back for more. Great information. Thank you so much. Our next TPO chef. I'm sorry, not chef. Our next item on the menu will whet your appetite for what is in store. Let's welcome our second TPO chef, also making her virtual taste transportation debut, Chef Fran. Good morning, Chef Fran. Tell the taste testers all about your item on the menu.
Good morning, Host Chance, and thank you for that introduction. I'm so excited to talk to everyone about the SMART M.A.P 2050, Mobility, Accessibility, Prosperity, which is the Miami-Dade TPO's long-range transportation plan for 2050. So let's talk about the process to create the SMART M.A.P 2050. Next slide. So the 2050 LRTP is like creating a gumbo or a crawfish etouffee. It takes a little while to let all of the ingredients marinate so that we have a delicious dish. So a good gumbo or a crawfish etouffee starts with a roux, and our roux is you, the people. It starts with the people phase, which is the longest running phase in our LRTP process. In the people phase, we create a public involvement plan. This is our guideline to let us know how we should engage the community so that we can understand what it is that the people want out of their transportation plan and out of their transportation network. Next, in the performance phase, this is where we add our bell pepper and onions to the plan, and we establish our goals and objectives for our LRTP process. This is helpful for us so that in the future we can track our progress against these goals and objectives. The next, in the projects phase, we're adding our andouille sausage, and we're looking at the congestion management in the network, the congestion that exists in the network, and we're creating a list of needs projects that will help us alleviate those congestion areas. We evaluate which projects best alleviate those issues, and then we can carry that into the next phase, which is the priorities phase. This is where we add a little bit more of our seasoning, spices, crawfish, and shrimp, and we create our cost feasible list of transportation projects. So up until this point, we've created a whole gamut of projects that will help us improve our network, but we also have to consider what revenues we might have in the future. So we constrain what we've been serving so far in our gumbo to ensure that what we have can be funded for the future. Then last but not least, we serve up our delicious dish. We evaluate the policy. In the policy phase, we evaluate any major projects that are existing in the LRTP that may need environmental screening, and then we also send our finalized dish to our TPO governing board for adoption, which is scheduled for summer of 2024. So let's jump into the performance phase and talk a little bit more about what we're doing in this process. In the performance phase, as I mentioned earlier, we're establishing our goals and objectives. On the next screen, you'll start to understand what we've been doing in order to um, update our goals and objectives. So this is our goals and objectives development process. First, we've developed our goals based on the public outreach and feedback that we've received at our LRTP steering committees. Then we organize these goals by the LRTP theme, which is mobility, accessibility, and prosperity. Next, in step 3, we ensure that each of our objectives are reflected by the various modes that we have in the network. So we have an objective for bike ped, for freight, and for transit as well. And then last, we vet these goals and objectives against the goals and objectives that we set for our previous plan in 2045 and against our federal requirements to make sure that we're on track. At the bottom of the screen, you can see pictures of this process. So here's a few survey responses that we've received on the next screen. We went out and asked what makes Miami-Dade County a great place to live, work, and play. And overwhelmingly, people said it's our parks and open spaces and beaches, but they also said it's the diversity of people. Next, we asked what is the most important transportation need? Name your top 3. And people implied that improving transit by reducing headways and providing more premium options was their number 1, followed by providing more options, which is transit, biking, micromobility, etc. And then third was improving safety. Then on the next screen, you can see a few more responses that we received. We asked people to envision Miami-Dade County's transportation system in 2050 using 5 words or less. And so what you see on the screen is a Wordle where the words that were repeated are bigger. So we see repeated words such as transit, interconnected, reliable, safe, efficient connectivity, etc. So these are the things that people are looking for in their transportation system. And then we also asked, what advancements do you anticipate by 2050? Number 1, people mentioned high-speed trains. We're seeing that with Brightline and their extensions north. Number 2, we saw the emergence of electric and alternative fuel vehicles. We see those in the market currently. Then third, we see self-driving or autonomous vehicles. Then tied for 4th, we see urban air mobility or unmanned aerial vehicles, tied with increased telecommuting. And telecommuting is something that we've come to become accustomed to, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic. So what do we do with all this information? Great question. On the next slide, you'll see that we've taken all of the feedback that we've received to start to understand what our draft goals will be. So again, our theme for SMART M.A.P 2050 is mobility, accessibility, prosperity. You see those words indicated on the screen to the left. And then organized under each of those themes, we have some ideas. So under mobility, for instance, we have safe and reliable. This means having more crosswalks or protected bike lanes, improving the safety of our system. Next, we have connected, which is providing more modal options and making sure that we have a connected network. And then under the accessibility umbrella, we have innovative. So using technology to help improve our transportation system, much in the way that Uber and Lyft has been able to reform the way we use our transportation system. Then also under accessibility, we have climate resilient, and ensuring that we're able to use our network when there's sea level, with the effects of sea level rise, or if there are king tide incidents, which is something that we've experienced recently. And then last, under our prosperity umbrella, we have equitable. So ensuring that our transportation network has improvements through each and every community. And then last but not least, economically competitive, ensuring that we have linkages between where people live, where they work, and making sure that our goods and services are able to be delivered efficiently within our transportation network. So this is an overview of SMART M.A.P 2050. I hope that you're excited to stay engaged, and back to you, Host Chance.
Thank you, Chef Fran. Wow, What an amazing introduction of what we have in store on the menu today. Talk about some heavy appetizers, man. Fish, shrimp, gumbo. Let me know when you open up your restaurant, because I'll definitely come on by, okay? Thank you, Chef Fran. It's about that time to see if our TPO Master Chef has any polling questions for our taste testers today.
All right, Host Chance, excellent, excellent, Chef Fran. That was amazing. A lot of good information. And yeah, I'm starting to get a little full. I can't imagine what's coming up after. Let's see. Okay, so everyone, our taste testers, we want you to respond to this question, which is rank the following transportation system goals in the order that is important to you. Remember, you can go on pollev.com /KHA1. And when you go there, you can move up and down the arrows and put these items in order of importance to you. And as you do that, then you can go ahead and hit submit. So let's see. We're getting some responses in. And we're having some movement. Excellent. Let's see. All right. Very good. All right. So as these responses are coming in, all right. So right now, as of now, safe and reliable is the top answer, multimodal and interconnected, followed by equitable, economically competitive, innovative, and climate resilient. All right. Well, that's very interesting. Thank you, taste testers. Back to you, Host Chance.
Oh, that's very interesting. Wow, nice. Very nice. Our next item on the menu is full of flavor. Let's welcome TPO Chef Meritieri. Good morning, Chef Meritieri. Please tell the taste testers about your item this morning.
Good morning, Host Chance. Thank you for inviting me. Today, I have a good dish for you. How do we put together socioeconomic data? Let's go. Next slide, please. So you will say, what is so important to socioeconomic data in the process of the LRTP? Why do we do this? Well, it provides a peek into the future, trends, and patterns in a population and economic growth, which in turn help us to develop transportation plans and projects that meet the future needs. Next, please. So you need a lot of ingredients for this dish. For the population, we start with the 2020 census. And to that, we take into account trends for birth, mortality, and migration. Then we develop these scenarios by forecasting in 5 years cycles until you reach the horizon year of 2050. Imagine like a layer K until you get to the top. This is like an iterative process in fancy words. For the employment, it's a little bit more sophisticated. We take the ingredients for through share analysis, which blends third-party forecasts shown on the graph here to the right, and that inform the industry different levels and trends of how we are doing. Next, please. So once we put all that together, we come out with the 2050 population employment forecast totals. These numbers, you think it's easy, but it's not that easy. It's a very complicated application when we're preparing this. Next, please. So once we have these totals, these control totals for 2050, how do I know how much is going to grow, for example, around my neighborhood? How do we get from this number to little numbers like in your neighborhood? And here I can see this controls numbers. We use a sub-allocation model. to identify where in the county those growths are going to happen or they're going to occur. This model is based in a balance of where the demand for new development and the potential for that development to carry that capacity and suitability. So how does this work? Imagine those nested measuring cups that we all have in the kitchen to measure the sugar, the flour, and all that. The POP and the data, when completed, imagine is your biggest measuring cup that you have. And we have to allocate all that flour that you have on that measuring cup all the way to the little cup on the top. So you see here, I have some example for you to kind of like visualize. I have a census tract, and then it goes into a smaller transportation analysis zones, and finally the micro traffic analysis zone, which is the smallest geographic area that we deal with when we are so allocating population and employment county-wide. Next, please. But as you can see, the MAC is very small, it's very granular to sometimes for anybody to view on a map. So we use a bigger cup in this case, which is the transportation planning areas. And this helps us when we are in the community to show how each area will grow in the future. Next, please. So here's a sample. On the left, you have the change in population density by planning area from 2020 to 2050. As you can see, the results indicate a density increase in the county downtown, there in yellow. This is less density, while at the western part of the county, you see a little bit less density in proportion to the downtown. On the right one, you see that granular MAC, and if you can see what I was saying, we usually use the bigger kind of like geographic area to show to the public, to show to everybody. So how all this translates? What are the numbers? You will say, Mariteri, where are the numbers? So here are the numbers for the population. Next, please. So the results of the 2015 population forecast when compared to the 2020 base, it shows the South planning area will have the most gross population countywide. However, it will not result in more density because that goes to the central business district of the downtown. A similar process is completed also for the employment. At this point in the game of the process of the LRTP, we are refining these sub-allocations. As you can see, when I explain it, everything sounds easy, but it's not that easy making this dish. So we are completing this process, and soon we'll come back to you. Next, please. And with that, we're thank you for inviting me. And back to you, Host Chance.
Thank you, Chef Mariteri. That was an amazing presentation. Great information. And listen, those measuring cups were a great analogy. Just know when you're measuring my food, it needs to be big portions out of that big cup. Let's see. It's that time to see if the TPO Master Chef has any polling questions for our taste testers.
Oh yes, Host Chance, and I agree. Those measuring, you really have to pay attention to those. Sometimes I think a cup is, not a cup or 2 cups. You really got to pay attention to that. So thank you, Chef Maritere, for helping us with that visualization. Excellent. All right, I see people already. Wow, okay, we're on it. Taste testers are already answering. Let's see. So this is kind of a did you know question. The next 2 questions are did you knows. or do you know, shall I say? So which transportation planning area do you think will have the highest population by 2050? Well, let's see if all the taste testers can go ahead and put in your responses. It looks like everybody's saying the South. Remember, you can go to pollev.com/KHA1. So go ahead, put in your answers. Let's see. Well, somebody had Central. You would think it's Central, but it's not Central, Host Chance. It is South. So South is the correct answer. Excellent job. Excellent job. All right, let's go to the next poll question, please. All right. Which transportation planning area will have the highest employment by 2050? All right, so what do you guys all think? What do you think? Let's get our taste testers in there. All right, some people are saying beach, some people are saying central, northwest. What do we all think? All right, Host Chance, it looks like people are saying beach and central, but the answer is northwest. Shocking. It is actually northwest. That is the correct answer. So by 2050, it's projected to have the highest employment in the northwest TPA area. Interesting, Host Chance, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And I saw some people change their vote as soon as you said
I think they changed after I gave the answer, don't you? All right, Host Chance, it's back to you. Thank you.
Thank you, TPO Master Chef. Thank you so much. Listen, the pot is just getting hot. So get your popcorn ready. Let's welcome TPO Chef, Chef Kevin, as he serves up a lightly seasoned soup. Good morning, Chef Kevin.
Thank you, Host Chance. Good day, everyone. And as the host mentioned, my name is Kevin Walford from the Miami-Dade TPO, and the items on my menu today are freight with a dash of biped. Get your soup bowl ready and let's go. We will start off with freight. Miami-Dade County has an economy dominated by tourism, international trade, along with agriculture and mining. Freight is a key aspect of the work performed by the TPO because it is the essential component to move goods from the producer to the distributor and then to retail centers and consumers. As the third largest employment sector in the county, freight transportation carries a significant economic importance. Aside from supporting the economy through well-paying jobs, freight provides businesses with the advantage of allowing them to be more competitive. The county's freight infrastructure includes Port Miami, Miami International Airport, and the Miami River. Port Miami is one of the larger container ports in Florida and is known as the cruise capital of the world, handling over 6 million passengers annually prior to the pandemic. Miami International Airport is the #1 ranked airport in the U.S. for international freight and also leads all U.S. airports in perishable cargo with 69% of the market, and is the first IATA designated pharma hub in the U.S. and the second in the world after Brussels, Belgium. The Miami River provides key niche waterborne cargo services to smaller ports in the Caribbean basin and supports an active industrial core along the river corridor. 2 railroads, CSX and FEC, serve the region connecting South Florida to the rest of North America, providing intermodal and carload services. A well-established network of roadways also provides regional mobility as well as gateways to Florida and more distant hinterland markets. These transportation facilities complement a mature warehouse distribution center and international banking and brokerage infrastructure that combined facilitate international trade activities. As part of its advisory committees, the TPO has a Freight Transportation Advisory Committee, or FTAC, which meets monthly and is the industry's advisory panel to the TPO Governing Board on freight movement and travel needs. Next item on the menu is our bicycle pedestrian program. The TPO's vision is to achieve world-class mobility that promotes equity, accessibility, resiliency, innovation, and economic competitiveness that improve Miami-Dade County's transportation network and the quality of life for current and future generations. How do we achieve this, you ask? First off, the TPO is conducting a bicycle needs survey that can be accessed using the QR code shown on the screen. As we are embarking on the 2050 long-range transportation plan, we at the TPO want to hear your thoughts on bicycle needs in Miami-Dade County. By completing the short 10-question survey, you'll help us with this effort. For your convenience, I will have the QR code displayed in the lower right-hand corner of each of my following slides. Continuing on with TPO's vision, one of the methods that is achieved is with the current update of our 2045 Bicycle Pedestrian Master Plan, among others. Take Safe Routes to School, for instance. Since 2005, the TPO has identified pedestrian safety improvements at 153 schools, with approximately $20 million being allocated for infrastructure improvements by FDOT through the Safe Routes to School program. On to bike-ped facilities. Since 2016, there has been a 56% increase in bike lane mileage to 207 miles and a 70% increase in total bike facility mileage to 522 miles. TPO's goal is to increase to the greatest extent possible the total mileage of protected bike lanes, such as the one with armadillos on the Venetian Causeway in the photo to the left of your screen. Next, we have smart trails. In 2019, a total of 20 locations were identified, and in August of last year, the first of these projects, the Central West Basin Linear Park in West-Dade, was opened. This happens to be the first bike-ped facility in Miami-Dade County that's located within an FPL easement. On the community front, the TPO takes part in several events annually, such as the annual Walk to School Day and Bike to School Day events. The TPO also has an advisory board for bike-ped concerns. The Bicycle Pedestrian Committee, or BPAC for short, meets monthly and reviews transportation plans and projects for non-motorized mobility and safety, provides a forum for the discussion of issues affecting bicyclists and pedestrians, and reports to the TPO Governing Board on bicycle and pedestrian-related issues. I hope you enjoyed your soup for the day. Back to you, Host Chance.
All right. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Chef Kevin. Let's see if the TPO Master Chef has any polling questions for our taste testers.
All right, Host Chance, let's see what we have. Yes, we do. We have another question. So for anybody who joined late, you can respond by going to pollev.com/KHA1. So we want to know what you think are the challenges to a safe cycling experience in Miami-Dade County. So go ahead, put in your answers. Is it lack of protected on-road routes, lack of connected trails and routes, hazards in the roadway, or other? So go ahead, put in your answer, and let's see what the taste testers have to say about that. All right, Host Chance, it looks like lack of protected on-road routes just kind of caught up. But it looks like these two, 50-50, Host Chance. It's a race here for these two. All right, so lack of protected on-road routes and lack of connected trails and routes seem to be the challenges. Those seem to be the two challenges, Host Chance. And thank you to our taste testers for participating in this poll. Back to you, Host Chance.
Thank you, TPO Master Chef. This is like watching a horse race. It's like who's gonna win? Who's gonna win? This is awesome. Our next item on the menu has plenty of salsa that gives any meal that special flavor. Presenting the cost feasible plan item is TPO Chef, Chef Chris. Please tell the taste testers about your item on this menu this afternoon.
It is now afternoon, Host Chance, and it's good to see you. I believe this is my third Taste of Transportation, and I'm so happy to be back with the taste testers today to talk about the cost feasible plan. Next slide, please. So as today's menu item, we couldn't wrap it up without making some cookies, because who does not love homemade cookies? And the cost feasible plan is no different than making cookies, because the first thing you need to do is figure out how many ingredients you have. Without having to run over to the grocery store, you want to go over to your pantry and take a look at how much flour you have. And in the case of the cost feasible plan, our flour is our state of Florida revenue estimating guidebook. We're going to be using the new unveiled revenue estimating guidebook for the 2050 long range transportation plan, and that is our base. Much like with the cookies, flour is the base. Now, how many eggs do we have? We also use our local resources, the county revenue estimates, our pro forma for the transit department, and all of our local municipal documents for revenue. And you can't forget about your butter. Federal and local resources that can be reasonably anticipated to be made available for projects in our community of Miami-Dade County. Once we mix all of that together, we've got our dough rolled out. And of course, you got to figure out what type of cookies are we going to be cutting. Now, going back to our presentations from Chef Francesca and Chef Wilson, they talked about the scenario plans and all of the different elements that go into figuring out what are going into our menu for our Miami-Dade County residents. That is what is going to use the base for our cookie shape. So at the bottom left of your screen, I had to make sure that we were representing some different modalities. So we're going to be making transportation cookies. Now, how big and how many cookies is really the question, and that's what comes down to our cost feasible plan. The federal law dictates that we have to make sure that we are being fiscally constrained in our cost feasible plan and that revenues are anticipated, reasonably anticipated, to be able to fund all the transportation projects. Chef Wilson made a comment about making sure that we can finish what we have put on our plate. That's no different than what is fiscal responsibility when it comes to developing a cost feasible plan. We need to make sure that what we're putting out there as our plan for the horizon of 2050 for transportation projects, the cost feasible plan is something that is accommodatable and that's reasonable. So when we can roll out that dough, we have to make a couple of factors in determining how many cookies we're going to make. How thin is the dough going to be? Are we going to be making thick cookies or are we going to be making thinner cookies? And then whatever we have left over as far as the dough goes and all of our cookies are cut in the different shapes and the different scenario plans, that can be used as a set aside for other resources. We can make set asides for the bicycle pedestrian infrastructure that is not yet identified. We can make set asides for the TSM&O or traffic signals maintenance and operations projects. Those are some different options for set asides. But at the end of the day, Miami-Dade County always makes sure that we use all of the dough that is reasonably anticipated in our community to make sure that we get the best bang for our buck and the most transportation projects for the best needs of our community. Once all of that is set, our board then votes on the cost feasible plan and it becomes the final cost feasible plan. The scenario plan that goes into developing all the different projects that will come out of it is integral. And as Chef Wilson and Chef Francesca mentioned, the public outreach is a component of all of this. It happens throughout the entire process of developing our long-range transportation plan, and the cost feasible plan is no different. We'll be checking in with the public. This is a great opportunity to educate the public and for us to make sure that we're getting feedback from the public through our surveys so that we can make sure what shape cookies we're going to be making over the next 20 to 25 years. So I appreciate your time and I appreciate all the taste testers. Back to you, Host Chance. Thank you very much.
Great information, Chef Chris. Thank you. Thank you. That was amazing. Cookies. Cookies. Cookies.
Hey, Host Chance. And that's amazing because talking about cookies, we have a special guest. If you want to introduce our dessert, go ahead, Host Chance, and introduce our dessert early. Go ahead, Host Chance.
I always like to have my dessert before I have my lunch or any type of meal. Even though my mother always told me, eat your food first, then dessert. Dessert is always good at any time. Now for a special treat. Our next item on the menu is a dessert with melted sugar mixed with a gluten-free caramel flavor, covering the entire TPO transportation planning process. Let's welcome our TPO Executive Chef, Eileen Bouclé. Please tell the taste testers about your dessert today.
Thank you, Host Chance, and hello to all the chefs and everyone who's participating today. It's truly our pleasure to step in live and share a moment of our Miami-Dade TPO co-motion peer exchange. with my counterparts across the nation that are joining me here today. We're here to talk about regional metropolitan planning and transportation issues, as well as housing, affordability, transit-oriented communities, walkability. We're going to be touring Brightline, the only private passenger rail service in operation in the nation. We will be visiting the Underline and learning how we have our own version of the Highland and the Beltline right here in Miami. And we're all going to see an amazing transit-oriented development right here in Miami in the middle of all construction. We're going to go around and introduce ourselves so you know who is participating in our peer exchange today. Grace?
Grace Galucci, I'm the Executive Director of the Metropolitan Planning Organization in Greater Cleveland.
I'm Chuck Whipple. I'm the Executive Director of the Houston Galveston Area Council of Governments located on the Upper Texas coast.
I'm Mitch Bierman. I'm a Miami-based attorney and an advocate for mobility in Miami-Dade County in Florida.
I'm Jenny Gastonde. I'm the TPO Transit and Regional Manager.
Hi, I'm Jessica Lopez. I am the Budget Coordinator here at Miami-Dade TPO.
Hi, Vivian Villamil, TPO Deputy Program Administrator.
Good afternoon, Tawana Parker, TPO Clerk of the Governing Board.
Hi, my name is Jocelyn Bermudez, Transportation Planner at the Miami-Dade TPO.
Good afternoon, Michael Dunn, Executive Director of the Rockford Regional Planning Council, MPO. We're just outside Chicago.
Sydney Turner, I'm the Director for the MPO of Rockford, Illinois.
Hey folks, Master Chef Javier Betancourt here, Executive Director of your Citizens Independent Transportation Trust.
And that's a wrap. We hope you enjoyed this dessert. And we're going to continue with our peer exchange. Thank you everyone for allowing us to step into this amazing meal. Thank you, Host Chance. Back to you.
Thank you. Awesome. That is awesome. Thank you so much for joining us. And now we'll get ready for our next item. Okay, taste testers, our next item on the menu is plant-based with no preservatives and no artificial ingredients. It's super healthy. It's yummy, yummy for the tummy. Presenting the SMART M.A.P 2050 LRTP website and virtual room is our very own TPO Master Chef. Good afternoon, TPO Master Chef.
All right, Host Chance. I am switching to the SMART M.A.P 2050 LRTP website. Host Chance, can you see the website?
Oh yes, looks really good.
All right, excellent. And listen, I'm so happy to see that our TPO executive Chef Bouclé has a peer exchange going on, and it was really wonderful to see all the people that are in our office and enjoying the time with our TPO staff. That's very exciting. All right, so let's go ahead. I'm going to take you through a little tour of our LRTP website. So pretty standard. We have a really beautiful homepage. Whenever we have a survey, they'll always be active here on the top, left or right. If we have more than one active survey, we'll have them on the left. But right now, we just have that bicycle needs survey. So you can see we have our homepage. It goes into our phases and objectives, which Chef Fran spoke about earlier. And we have our vision here for what we see for the 2050 LRTP and our public involvement process. And we can't have a website without having some of our numbers here on the bottom, so you can always go on and check out those numbers. And if you ever want to get back to the TPO website, then just click here and it'll go back to the main TPO website. So let's kind of go up here to the top. So the plan, again, it goes a little bit more into detail as we go through the process. We will be populating the website. So again, here's the process phases and objectives, a little bit more detail, giving you the outcomes and the timeline. So if you're kind of like, oh, where are you with this TPO, then here you can go to the phases and check out more of the information to keep you updated. Here's the transportation planning areas, which we already saw earlier in some of the polling questions. So this is, if you want to see which TPA you live in, you can go ahead and check out this map. And again, as Chef Wilson stated earlier, here are our LRTP steering committee members. As you hover over, they will each turn color and you can go directly to their respective websites. I'm going to skip over public involvement real quick. We have our resources. We have an interactive map, which is coming soon. Any documents that we have, you go into here and you click. We have like our public involvement document in here right now, our plan, and we have fact sheets in English, Spanish, and Creole. Moving down, we have any videos that we're producing. We'll have those there. And here's some FAQs. So you just press these little arrows and they will pop up and down and answer the questions that you may have. So let me take you back to the public involvement. So when we have any of our outreach events, we'll post them here, our active surveys. If you want to stay informed and be placed on our weekly e-newsletter or our e-blast, just click here and you can sign up to be involved. So the next thing I want to take us to is the virtual outreach room. So let's go ahead and do that. And I will close this one. So that takes you to our virtual room. This is super cool. I'm so excited about this. And this is a room that I feel that we should all spend a lot of time in. So when you come into the virtual room, you just kind of use your mouse and you can pan around and see the people hanging out and biking in and coming in multimodal modes of transportation. And we come here to the lobby area. If you want to see something a little bit more up close, you just kind of press on that and select whatever's on the wall, and that will bring it up closer so you can see it. So again, just kind of click and this will pull up a fact sheet for you, and we have it in all 3 languages for the public. Again, if you want to know how to use, this is how to use a virtual room. It's pretty simple. As you can see, I'm just kind of flipping around. Now you kind of go to the arrows on the floor and that'll take you to the next room. So as Chef Fran said earlier, we have different phases. So the rooms are going to be set up as we move forward and populate and go through the LRTP process. We're going to populate each of the rooms with the different phases. So we have been in the performance phase. And if you just go, you can click right here, and in the circles, it'll take you closer. Again, I know we saw this already, but if you want to see something closer, you just click on it. If you want to take your bicycle needs survey, you just click on that and it will take you directly to the survey. You can again click over here and just click on one of these. And this is information that you can just access up and close and personal. And so these rooms are not open just yet. They're coming soon, but you can still go around the rooms if you want to. And so we come back to, I did want to take you one more place. This is our people wall. So right here, if you come over to the circle, you can download the public involvement plan. So that is available to you. And as we populate and we have more outreach events, we will start populating this wall with all the information that we gather. So that is pretty much a really cool, it's really amazing. I think it's really cool virtual room. And I am going to go ahead and I am going to stop sharing. Host Chance, it is back to you.
Well, let me tell you, TPO Master Chef, you're not the only one who thinks it's pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool too. Wow, let me tell you something. What a full transportation menu we've had today. I told you this was going to be like a taste of transportation like no other. Well, we have come to the end of our lunch together. So now let me take the time to say thank you. Thank you to all of our taste testers. Thank you to all of our TPO chefs. Thank you to our TPO executive chef, Bouclé, for joining us today to provide the important information about the TPO's SMART M.A.P 2050 LRTP. Remember, you can contact us anytime, and you can call us at 305-375-1888, or you can email us at information@mdtpo.org. Sorry, what was that? You want more? Well, you can have more. You can tune in to our past Taste of Transportation episodes on the TPO's YouTube channel, and even share them with your friends and your coworkers and your family. You can view all of our episodes again and again and again. We hope you have enjoyed this episode today, and we hope to see you at our next Taste of Transportation. Have a great afternoon, everyone.